Hello and welcome to my next video. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to use the pads, the soft part of my fingertips, for tapping. I've not seen anyone else do that particular style of tapping. It's kind of a slapping thing. It's kind of a nervous habit I had to do this. I don't normally do this, but it has that interesting sound. Then I thought I would take advantage of having a bald head. I hope you enjoy. Pardon my popping joints. Sometimes they do that. What's that old joke? What's this? Spider on a mirror doing push-ups. My son's dog is sleeping and dreaming, so you hear that faint woofing in the background. That's Picard, my son's dog. He and my daughter-in-law are both fans of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He trained him that when he says sit and for stay, he says hold position. And then when he's ready for him to go, he says engage. It's quite funny. He taught him the trick of putting a treat on his nose, and we'll tell him to hold position, and then say engage, and he'll pop up his head and catch the snack off his nose. My granddaughters loved doing that for years. It's pretty funny how big old pit bull like him will listen to a little kid. And they're buddies. They sleep together. It's funny. I hear the train in the distance, so I'm gonna pause the recording and pick up after it's passed. That was a long one. Might have been 2 trains. There's parallel tracks all the way through town, so we can have trains crossing as they go through town. You can also hear the train from a long way away, so not exactly sure where it was when I first heard it. A little bit too loud. In warm weather, when the window's open, I have people that I'll talk to on the phone ask if I'm standing on the tracks. No, I'm a couple 100 feet from the tracks, so. But outside, when the train's going by, you can't carry conversation with somebody standing right next to you. You just have to be quiet and wait for it to pass. Look up the magician Doug Henning on YouTube. Sadly, he died many years ago. I believe it was some form of cancer. He was a magician and had a few specials on TV. In one of the specials, he showed us the exercises he did for training his fingers. I'm a bit arthritic, but yes, that are my knuckles popping. While waiting for the train, I started fidgeting on the table I've got my microphone on. We'll see how this sounds when I edit. The table is actually a wooden foldable TV tray. Sounds like a drum. Sounds like drummers in one of those 18th century movies, like the Continental Wars, before, during, and after Napoleon. The drummers beating a cadence for the troops to march into battle. I'm not a drummer, but through the miracle of technology, jazz hands. Looks like I'm plotting something, doesn't it? That last pop was my elbow. I'm really popping today. I know some people hate the sound of joint popping. I'm not attempting to do it on purpose, so I apologize if that's bothering you. There's not much I can do about it other than I guess I could stop filming and see if popping my knuckles would make them stop, but they don't seem to be doing it anymore, so all good, I think. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but the interesting thing, at least as far as my baldness is considered, is I'm not absolutely bald on the top of my head. I've got hairs sporadically through here that they grow very slowly, very far apart, So unless you're in the right light, you can't even tell they're there. It's just easier to shave them. I suspect that's probably true of a lot of people that have baldness. I don't know how many of them have complete baldness on the area where the baldness is hit. But we're talking about baldness. When my hair was thinning, I didn't realize how bad it was. So those fellas that do a comb over, it only looks good when you're straight on in the mirror. That's the bad thing about it. Looking straight on in the mirror, a comb over looks good to the person looking in the mirror. It wasn't until I got a picture blowing out candles over a birthday cake with a shot of the back of my head and the big bald spot back there, I realized how bad it was, and I started no more combing my hair. It wasn't an intentional comb over. It really wasn't that long. But I started trimming my hair much shorter. And then when it got to be very sparse, it looked ridiculous if I let it grow. So that's when I started shaving it, and it's even more sparse. Gosh, I bet that's been going on probably close to 20 years. Yeah, I was in first grade 50 years ago, so I remember all kinds of things from 50 years ago. Can't necessarily put a date to them, but I remember. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this relaxing and enjoyable. Please comment down below and tell me your thoughts about tapping with the pads of my fingers on the space between my knuckles and on my scalp. I've not seen any others do that. If you found that enjoyable, I'll come up with some other things to do with that. Oh, and the drumming. Comment on anything and everything in the video, and I'll keep working to improve sound quality. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. For those of you in areas of the world torn apart by war and other unrest, I hope that you're safe and able to have food and shelter and water and be with your families. May we all try to be our best selves and work for a better, more peaceful world where no one has to be sick, hungry, or cold.